y'all, I'm Amber, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to show you several things. The first thing is two reviews. The first being the review of the second and third volume of Chew by John Layman. This is a comic book series, I believe you would call it, and I finally was able to read the second and third volume. This series is about an FDA agent named Tony Chew, who is able to get psychic impressions from anything that he eats. That is very basic and it doesn't really tell you anything, but there you go. I really enjoyed the first volume. I think it's just because it was a new and different experience, but the second volume felt really just the beginning of a story, and there's just too many threads and felt like it was left open-ended too much. So, and the third volume focused too much on the romance, which I didn't really want, and I felt like it overshadowed the actual plot that I was really wanting to read. So, in the end, I DNF'd the series, but my brother is really enjoying it, so at least there's that, because he's not much of a reader, and I am always trying to get him to read things, so at least he's enjoying it. I also read Angle of Repose by Wallace Stigner. Now, I will admit with this one, I actually skimmed through the last 100 pages of this book because it got to the point where I just couldn't deal with it much longer. But this is about Lyman Ward, who is a retired historian. He's been recently wheelchair bound, and he isolates himself in his grandparents' home in order to chronicle the lives of his grandparents during the late 1800s California. Rather, that's where the marriage begins. But anyways, the thing about this book is that the story is very repetitive. So Oliver, the grandfather, is a mining engineer. So when they first get married, they move to New Almaden, California, where he has his first major job as an engineer there, and it ends up being failure. Then they move to the next place, and it's like the same thing, rehash, and then again, rehash, all the way through the book. And in the end, it just felt like there was no real plot, nothing to actually move the story forward. I know it's really about these two people's marriage and the struggles that they went through, but the characters were either annoying or dull or just not really there. I found Lyman, who is telling the story, to be a dull character. I just didn't really care for his story at all, and when you compare it to the story of Oliver and Susan, you can't really compare. I think that Oliver and Susan's story is so much more interesting. But then you have Oliver, who I would have loved to have had his perspective, at least in part, because even though he's silent, and even though Lyman didn't have anything from him, and that's why we weren't going to get anything from him, I just feel like there was just so much underneath the surface that if we were able to hear from him, there would have been so much more to this. And also, I really wanted to read more about the mining experience. It was like the people there, because Oliver was sympathetic to the workers there who had to do the digging, and he knew the struggles and the mistreatment that they were going through, and that's part of the reason why he left the first job. And so I just would have loved more of that than their marriage, because the marriage is so frustrating to read about, because Susan herself, as we're told this basically through her eyes, is such a frustrating, snobbish, manipulative type of person that even though I felt like we were supposed to kind of sympathize with her or care for her as a character, I just couldn't. And just adding upon the fact that the story was not the story I really wanted. When I first started reading the book and we got the New Almaden, I was like, that's what I really wanted. And you can kind of tell that the author really put some extra to that part, whereas it felt like as the story went, he started losing momentum and interest even in his own story, because it just started getting worse and worse and worse. And so I had to give it 2 stars, because I just thought that there's no plot. Characters were either dull, annoying, or just distasteful, or just really not there, and it was the most boring book I've read in a long while. So really sad, but she stars again. Now on to what I'm currently reading. As you may guess, I'm still working through Alexander Hamilton by Ron Chernow. I have determined how much I would have to read a day in order to get through this in a month's time, but I'm also listening to it through Audible, and I'm very much enjoying that experience. It's definitely making it go a little bit faster than it would have otherwise been going, so I'm very happy with my decision in that, but we'll see. I'm really crossing my fingers I'll get through this before the end of December, because I really need to get done with this before the end of the year. Seriously. Then I am almost done with this story, The Life of AJ Vickery. This is a library book, and this is about AJ, who over a year ago has lost his wife. He's isolated himself from everybody and seems to have lost complete interest in the bookstore that he owns and runs. Then one day he finds a package at his door, and his life is completely changed. I was really hoping that I would have finished this before this video was going to be up, but it just didn't happen. So you'll have to wait until next week to hear my full thoughts on this, but I will tell you now that I am liking it. And now I'm going to share with you my TBR for November. I know that November is halfway through basically and all that, but I just thought I might as well share with you the books that I want to read next. I definitely don't think I'll get through half of these books, but I'm hoping that I will. The main reason why I wanted to do this now is because I am going to change up how I do my TBRs. I'm going back to monthly TBRs, and when I do my TBRs, I will go back to my previous TBR and share with you what I finished, what I DNF'd, what will be moving on to my next TBR, and then I will also share with you how many library books I read, so you kind of get an idea of how many books I've read in that month, or rather I will, because I don't know if this will even interest you at all, but this is really for me more than you guys. These videos for myself to kind of be able to teach myself to talk more and to be able to see how I am reading throughout the month, and also it kind of helps me to formulate my real thoughts even more solidly about the books that I've read. But I also enjoy sharing this with whoever may possibly be reading this, or rather watching this. So I am looking forward to seeing the statistics of what I've read in the month of November when the month ends. That being said, let's actually get on with sharing with you the 5 books that I have for my TBR. The first I have actually started, and that is The Yiddish Policeman's Union by Michael Chabon. Very much interested to read this, as this has been on my shelf for at least 4 years, I think, so it's about time. I also want to try to get to I Captured the Castle by Dodie Smith. I've heard a lot of good things about this book and this author, so again, this is another book that is about time I get to, because it's been on my shelves for over 2 years. The newest book that I have here is Half of the Yellow Sun by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Then I really want to read Ruby by Cynthia Bond, another book that's been on my shelf for quite some time, but I think this has only been on my shelf for a year. Looking forward to it. It's been a while since I've heard anybody talk about this book, but it was quite positively talked about, and the synopsis sounded interesting, so hopefully I will enjoy this either this month or the next month. The last book that I have on my TBR is the one book that I'm most excited to read, but the one that I definitely don't think I will get to this month, and that is The Crimson Petal and the White by Michelle Faber. This is told in such a unique way, and I did read a chapter of this like a year ago, and I remember really enjoying the narrative style, so hopefully I will enjoy it still as I pick it up. So those are the books that I want to read, and the review of the second and third volume of Chew and of Angle of Repose. I would love to hear down below if you read either one of those. What did you think of them? I'd also love to hear what you're currently reading. Thank you all so much for watching, and keep smiling.